Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And in this case, we're talking about WIND Memphis, and we'll explain what that means. Westwood-IndianHills, and neighboring developments. We're honored to be joined by Dedra Macklin, founder and CEO of WIND Memphis. How are you doing?
I am awesome. How about yourself?
Doing well. I love talking about all the good that's going on in our community. And when you talk about community gardens and redevelopment and helping a renaissance take place, that's this conversation. And so let's go ahead and dive in. When you talk about Westwood-IndianHills and neighboring developments, WIND Memphis, go ahead and talk about the neighborhood. Give us some geography so we have some context.
Okay. Well, Westwood-IndianHills, and neighboring developments is strategically located in Southwest Memphis, 38109. And our vision is redevelopment for sustainability for within the 38109 communities. And we are a CDC, Community Development Corporation, and we provide services for the Westwood-IndianHills, Boxtown, West Junction, as well as Walker Homes. And any other neighborhoods that's connected to it, basically, we don't discriminate. We love on everybody.
I love it. Talk about what a CDC means. For those who aren't familiar with a CDC, define what a CDC does and is.
Well, basically, there are different facets of a CDC, but with our CDC, we started off being more focused on housing development when we first began back in 2007. And then we noticed a shift that we were more like, okay, well, we kind of need to start working with the youth more directly, or we need to work with the seniors more directly. So we began youth empowerment programs, senior services, and also as well as the development of homes. And then now we've turned the helm again, and we're going back out in the community with community gardens and 4-H groups called the Eota Tribe Group, as well as WiseTies Gardens, and also community development with seniors in their homes because they are having some concerns about their homes and some hazards in their homes, and we're here to help.
Talk about the importance of being local focused, but yet the ripple effect that creates for the larger Mid-South community, for the region. I think, having a pulse at the local level, knowing your neighbors, figuring out where the gaps are and identifying, the assets you have, how you can leverage those, but how you can really help at a local level has a powerful ripple effect. And so talk about the intentionality of being local focused, hyper local focused, and yet what that does for the larger region.
Well, what we noticed is that developing relationships was really key. I know a lot of people say that, but that is really key, developing relationships. And the ones that we did have when we started, we were trying to make those stronger. And so with that, it came more of a stability, and people were trusting us more, and we were more welcoming into the homes, welcoming with their children, trying to empower them. And so it became a ripple effect because we just utilized the resources that were already there in 38109, and we just helped build upon those. And back to the relationships, we noticed that it wasn't just a relationship with like the mother or with the father, it was multi-generational. We were talking with the mother's mother, or with their children or grandchildren. So that is the ripple effect that we have within the community. And it not only touches 38109, it's begin to touch other zip codes also. And we do not turn anyone down for any type of services or partnerships or building relationships.
You mentioned the evolution in terms of working with the youth and now into community gardens. Let's go ahead and dive in deeper. Talk about the work with the community gardens.
Okay, well, for an example, back in 2019, I basically had like a knowing of just something just wasn't right. And so in 2020, when the pandemic hit, we, WIND, approached Big Green. They're no longer here in Memphis, but we approached Big Green and say, hey, why not let's go into the home with the children virtually. So we will have virtual sessions with them once a week. We supply seedlings and fertilizer and buckets, and the children would take pictures of the growth of their of the harvest that they were that they're taking care of. And so with that, then in turn, they went back to school. So the interest kind of dropped, but we were like trying to keep them connected. So what we say, hey, why not try to find some space that's possibly donated where they can have learning space, where they can come out and do more hands-on and also take it back home and apply it at home. So this is the big kickoff that we're having this weekend with a composting gardening event, and it's on 2 acres of land. And we're going to be gardening and showing the youth and their families of how to actually garden so that we can have a more healthier way of life.
And carry that into, the education component, just like you're talking about, understanding where your food comes from, but the health piece of this in terms of fighting food deserts and opening up the access to different ingredients, healthy ingredients. I think there's a lot of both education, but also health and wellness pieces to what you're doing.
Yes, we found that not only with the virtual that we were doing with the youth, we found a lot of difficulty with literacy. And so that allowed us to say, hey, we need to possibly look into this. So we started to partner with like Seed and Success, where we had more of a connection with the child and with their families and what's going on, and developing relationships with their teachers in the schools. And so with that literacy piece, it also helps to know that when a child is able to empower themselves through literacy and being more comfortable with it, then the health piece is not as hard because they're more open. Because they're not closed because they're ashamed of not being able to read or have some type of deficiency. They're more open to other things like learning about food and drawing pictures of what a plate looks like, a healthy plate looks like, and join in on the activities. So we do enjoy that. We also segue that into the 4-H group. Our 4-H group is called the EOTA Tribe, where we basically have turned it into an agribusiness, where we've noticed that a lot of youth, they love the concept of business. There's something quick, but but we want to empower them with that. We want to say, hey, if you want to do business, here's a business never thought about. So there are different things that we do. We're also getting into teaching them how to fly drones, because I fly drones. So I'm teaching them how to fly drones, and that even brings more of the youth into it. And we do it over the community garden.
Nice. Yeah. Put a little science and technology in there. I like that. A little STEM.
Yeah, a little STEM.
Switch over and talk about the community development aspect, because you've got home repairs for seniors. You have a number of things that you do on that front, and that goes into the revitalization side. So talk about that.
Yes. So we reached out to an organization back in 2019, also started a partnership with Green and Healthy Homes. And it wasn't as a full relationship where we were just going back and forth talking with one another about different houses in the homes. Well, it just took off in 2021. And in 2021, we became a full partner where we actually go into the seniors' homes and we do small repairs and weatherization in their homes. And we did not know that it was such a big need. When we're speaking with the homeowners, there are a lot of concerns, there are a lot of hazards, there are a lot of life happens to them. And so we talked to Green and Healthy Home and said, we want to be over 38109. We've developed the relationships. We know who they are. They know who we are. We want that touch. And so they allowed us to be over 38109, and it has been a special development with that, because we make sure they get the care that they need, the services that they need, and we just check on them quite often.
That goes back to the relationships, like you were mentioning before, the power of the relationships and understanding each other, understanding the needs, being able to assess the needs. Touch on too why that work is so important when you talk about seniors and being able to have their independence, but also too what it means for the stability of the neighborhoods to have the homes in good condition, but be able to have the homeowners able to live there. I think it's a revitalization, it's an independence, but it's also too a neighborhood preservation that's important. Once again, back to the larger picture of the community. Touch on that importance.
Yeah, it's very important because first, the value of the homeowner, what they put their hard work and their soul and their dollars into a home. And they built a community within that home first with their families. And then they reached out and became a community. And so those type of relationships were very important to them. So then we noticed that when they raise their children and the children either move away or come back, that the value in it is not as much as someone who put that oomph into it. So we said, okay, well, maybe we need to start working with the children and the grandchildren who are back now and show them the value of it, show them the importance of what community means, how to reach out to your neighbor, how to reach out to others and to empower one another to make sure that your yards are cut, or do this for your home, or find a resource that can help your home to stay just as nice as when their mother or their father was living there, or when they were there as a group. So part of our vision is the sustainability. So we want to make sure that when we go into the home, we talk to them about that, build these relationships, talk to multi-generational in a way that we can relate to them. And not only when we come in, we combat hazards. We see hazards in the homes or any type of things like roofs that are leaking or something like that. But there's another thing we've been partnering with, get the lead out. And that's so important because lead has caused many issues. That's why I state it's important that it's multi-generational, that we're able to communicate across all different generations, because there's something in each one of them that we can help with any type of resources.
Well, and like you mentioned too, it's building the neighborhood pride, building the pride back into your home and your neighborhood.
Mhm.
Talk about how the community can help, because you have the 5th annual WIND Community Share Fair coming up July 28th. And so you've got that as a big opportunity, but talk about that and how the community can help your efforts.
Okay, so we are having our 5th annual WIND Community Share Fair. And people are like, what is that like? Basically, we allow other organizations to come into our community and share their resources. And this is so valuable because the community comes out, they come and get whatever they need, from everything from knowing about hazards in their homes, or different types of grants, or different types of scholarships for the youth, or pick up a backpack, or they can go on the bouncy castle or get something to eat, because we like to feed people. So it's something that I take much pride in, because it's just a big fair of giving away lots of stuff, and people are getting empowered, they're getting help, and they're meeting their community, and just, I hadn't seen you in a long time type of thing. So it's one of those things. And how the community could help is, first of all, come out and utilize these resources. Organizations have been coming for years, and they want to give the information. They want to make sure that we are okay. So the community should just come out and embrace, and not to feel shame or feel like there's something to it or anything like that. No, because we're careful about who we bring into our community. We want to make sure whoever comes they're making sure that we're safe, we're knowledgeable, making sure that they give us information to help be sustainable on our own. And that's what the Community Share Fair is about. We do enjoy the relationships that we develop with the partnerships with the other different organizations also. That is so key, because if they don't come, then we will not have a share fair. So yes, we're excited. Once again, it's the 5th annual. Woo!
Absolutely. Well, the last question is always the easy one, is where do we go to learn more? So mention social media, website, phone number. Where would you direct us to learn more and get involved?
Well, great. Well, I'm doing better with social media. I'm Gen X. I'm the cross connector, so I'm getting better with it. But we do have multiple platforms. We have Facebook, where you can go to WIND Memphis and it will show up, or Instagram, where it's WIND_Memphis, as well as Twitter. It's the same, WIND_Memphis. And someone convinced me to do TikTok. And that one is Wind 901 Memphis. I'm like, okay, I'm still working on that one. But we also have a website, windmemphis.org. So we are across the board right now. We're getting better, but we're out there. We're posting at least 2 or 3 times a week. So that's good. So that's where people can connect with us, or go to our website and there's a volunteer form they can fill out, or even a donation form, but where if you just feel it upon your heart to do so.
Absolutely. Well, all good stuff indeed. So Dedra Macklin, founder and CEO, Westwood-IndianHills and neighboring developments, WIND Memphis. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.